Bleacher Report's Mike Freeman reported that NFL owners have contacted Roger Goodell regarding the Ezekiel Elliott investigation. Reportedly, some of the owners feel Goodell has been too soft on Dallas because of Jerry Jones' popularity and want Zeke to be suspended. Shannon, what's your reaction?
I'm not surprised by this. We saw these owners speak out when the Deflategate happened, Skip, because they thought the commissioner was light on him, was light on the Patriots when Spygate happened, and they did not want this same situation to happen again. And what they're looking at, the owners, although Jerry is popular and he carries a lot of weight, he carries a lot of cachet, Skip, they're looking at this situation. It's just not a Cowboy issue. This is an NFL issue. And Cowboys are under the umbrella of the NFL. They're one of 32 teams. So Jerry should not be getting preferential treatment. His players shouldn't be getting preferential treatment. But here's the thing, here, and the commissioner and is in a very precarious situation because he has this job in large part because of the Big Six, Jerry Jones and Mr. Kraft and Daniel Snyder and Dan Rooney, rest his soul, and some of those guys, Jerry Richardson.
The Giants.
Yes.
Group, yeah.
Because remember, Skip, in 2014, when the commissioner had a lower approval rating than President Trump does right now, it was Jerry Jones that says he has my full support.
He did?
It was Mr. Kraft. It was Jerry Richardson. Now, after he did what he did to the Patriots for Spygate, it's down to a big 5. Because Mr. Kraft said, I'm done with you, bro. Now,
for Deflategate.
But Deflategate.
Yes.
He said, Mr. Kraft said, I'm done with you, bro. You did this. You listened to those other owners after I stuck my neck out for you when you're at your lowest. You're really sitting in this seat because of what I had to say on your behalf. And now here comes Jerry now. Skip, that Jerry Jones. Now he's a salesman. Now I saw it with my own eyes sell a Collinaire ant spray. I saw him do it.
You did?
I saw him do it.
Wow. That was in Houston at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, he's a good salesman, Skip. But now you get Mr. Kraft and you get Jerry Jones on one side. How long you think it's going to take, Skip, before Mr. Marr, Daniel Snyder? Now, I don't know if he can survive if he loses 2 or 3 of the Big Six. I don't know how long he'll be able to stay in that role. Because what we're seeing is that the owners are saying, look, we're tired of you showing preferential treatment to the teams that are constantly on television, that the owners, that everybody knows who the owners are. You're showing favoritism to the Patriots, and we don't like it. You're showing favoritism to the Cowboys, and we don't like it. And we just want you to know, we see it. We watching you. So what you gonna do about it? See, they call it Roger. I call it committee. They say, Roger, what are you gonna do about it? You like your job, Roger? You like that $32 million you get? Private jet, security detail? Well, you need to put some act right on the Cowboys. And I expect Zeke to be suspended. I expect him to face harsh punishment.
$32 million, that's a lot of money to make to do that job, right?
It comes with huge responsibilities.
I'm going to remind you what you said, maybe it's been 3 weeks ago, when reports began to circulate that despite the fact that Ezekiel Elliott had been cleared by the police in Columbus, Ohio, and in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who had investigated domestic abuse accusations against Ezekiel, both police departments said not enough there to charge. And yet the report persisted that the commissioner is still going to come down on Ezekiel just for domestic abuse because the NFL thinks where there was all that smoke, there had to be just a little bit of fire. And because the NFL has been under such scrutiny and criticism for lack of reaction to other domestic violence cases in the recent past, they are going to make an example out of Ezekiel Elliott. And what did you say that day? If you were Ezekiel and they do come down, you'd say, I'd sue them.
I would.
Right?
I would.
Okay.
But now this explains to me, Skip, after 2 years, why this is still ongoing. It's those other owners that won't let it go. So he has to, because Skip, at the end of the day, they are his bosses. Now we can get all this, he's the commissioner and he doesn't rule those 32 guys. They actually rule him. And when 31 says, we need you to do something, well, 30, because Mr. Kraft probably ain't talking right now. But when 30 says, we need you to do something, or a large majority say, we need you to take some kind of action, he's going to have to do something.
Yet, to me, and again, I'm a lifelong, since I was 10 years old, Cowboy fan, so maybe I'm not objective enough here, but it always feels to me like Roger Goodell goes out of his way to come down harder on my Dallas Cowboys, just to show that even though he likes Jerry a lot, clearly, they're buddies. Right. I think he likes Mr. Kraft a whole lot. And even though Jerry and Robert Kraft are the two most powerful owners in pro football,
absolutely,
even in sport, can I say in sports?
Probably
who's
yes.
more powerful than those
yes.
two, right? That he's going to go out of his way to show everybody, I'm going to be even more than fair in my punishment of them. I'm going to really come down hard on them. And I'm going to point out that since 2014, the Dallas Cowboys by far lead the league in suspensions. They have 15 to the Browns 10 and the Ravens 9. 15 that cost them a total of 100 games since 2014. Again, did they deserve it? I can't argue. Did they ask for it? I can't argue. But did the NFL maybe go out of their way to make examples of these players? Again, you always say that the commissioner has the power to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Absolutely.
So there's some objectivity involved there, right?
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof.
Because, right? But here's the thing, though, Skip. When you're mentioning those suspensions. A lot of those might be PEDs. They might be marijuana. So they're set games. I think this because they want him to take in the Deflategate, Skip. There was no, I mean, how do we do it? Because normally it was a fine. It's supposed to be like a $50,000 fine. But the owner says, hold on. Coach Belichick should have got the death penalty for doing this because he blatantly and deliberately.
For Spygate.
For Spygate.
I agree.
Right.
I mean, I thought Deflategate was in large part about Spygate. What didn't happen.
Right.
And then what happened to the tapes? They somehow got destroyed after Spygate, right?
You hear the story said that, Commish, these tapes are worse than we actually thought. And he said, destroy them. I don't want these to see the light of day again. So now they're looking at it, and he's like, all the suspensions that the Greg Hardys and some of these guys have, they've been marijuana, they've been PEDs. So you get a standard 2 games, 4 games. Now with this, because there was no charges, there's a lot of smoke, and the owners are looking like, well, hold on. But Zeke keep doing something, Commissioner.
Now, that I can't argue.
Right.
If beyond the domestic abuse accusations, there's a whole lot of other smoke going on. And if you want to come down on that stuff, I'm good with that.
Because when they look at it, Skip, the other owners just don't look at the Cowboys as a separate entity. Now, I know Jerry sometimes bills them as a separate entity because he's the only one that sells his merchandise. Everybody else has to go through the league. You know how Jerry did. Jerry was the first one to have the Nike swoosh. That's why the NFL gave the contract to Reebok at the time.
Jerry rebelled.
He did.
He broke ranks.
He got the Pepsi deal. Yeah. So Jerry did a lot of his own. He's like, I don't have no problem, but I'm also a hustler. So I'm hustling to try to make more than what you guys think I should get. But these other owners, Skip, they're saying, okay, all this stuff with the Cowboys, why is it something that's constantly going on with the Cowboys that's giving the NFL a black eye? And he said before, if you keep hiring these guys that are bad apples, the commissioner said, I'm going to hold you responsible. Well, Jerry and Jerry says, I'm going to keep bringing these guys, the risky guys on, because I believe the reward at the end is too great to pass up. So at some point in time, the commissioner's like, well, Jerry, you keep doing this, I'm going to have, you know what? It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt, like, you know, your parents should tell you, it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you.
Baloney.
Man, I was like, I would want to grip my temper, Granny. Stop. Like, well, let me beat you, Granny, and let you. Now it'll hurt you too. I believe something's going to happen because these owners, and it might not be all 30, but I think, Skip, it's enough of them that gets the commissioner's attention that he's going to have to take some course of action.
So what happened to Robert Kraft in Deflategate? Midstream, he finally said, I give up. I give in. I'm a league man. I'm a company man. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this bullet. And I was furious on the old show because it looked like he just left Tom Brady hanging high and dry.
Coach Belichick beat him to it first, though.
He did.
As the quarterback. I
don't know anything about it.
But here's the thing, though. Think about it now. I believe that if Mr. Kraft could have drummed up some support from the other owners, he would have fought the commissioner.
Okay,
but what did Jerry say? That he gets paid the big bucks to make the tough decision.
Okay, I got it. But Mr. Kraft decided, if I give in now and say, you got us, we'll take our punishment, maybe the punishment will be lighter than it would have been if we had fought it to the death. But what happened? No, you still got it.
Right.
And that's why I'm not sure he doesn't talk to Commissioner Goodell.
Oh,
but,
sure, yeah.
but he was furious because they got it with both barrels right back at him after he said, okay, we did it.
Yeah.
And the both barrels included, they lost their first round draft pick in 2016. I thought that was outrageously too much punishment for this, for inflating, deflating footballs, which I still don't believe he did, but that's just me. But you lost your first, and then you lost your fourth round pick next year. So you lost two, one very valuable and one pretty valuable draft pick. There's a fine of $1 million, which is just like pocket change. So I disregard that part. But again, he admitted later, Bob Kraft did, I made a mistake. I trusted the league would treat me more fairly if I said we did it. And that's what he got back from the commissioner. And now I think the commissioner is going to come down harder on the Dallas Cowboys because they are the Cowboys, and he's seen as liking Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I believe that the commissioner and Mr. Kraft are friendly. I don't believe they are as close of friends as they once were. But time will heal and mend all things. He's supposed to be going on Thursday night, showing up, Skip, for opening kickoff. So that'll be. But so once he shows up, can we stop the booing? Must we boo?
No.
Can
we cannot.
Skip.
He deserves it.
Skip, stop it now.
No, he does. He deserves it.
I mean, the man, he's talking at the draft, they booing. Can we stop with the booing?
You know that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Come on.
Adam Schefter just tweeted regarding Zeke. Dallas is signing veteran running back Ronnie Hillman, in a sense, could be indication of concern over the NFL's decision.
What happened to
Ezekiel
Aaron
Elliott?
McFadden and Alfred Moore?
I guess they feel like they need more.